Welcome to Gutter Trash, episode 384, Prince of Cats by Ronald Wimberly. My name is Eric.
And I am Jason.
Hey, howdy.
Hey, buddy.
How are you?
I'm good.
It's good to hear.
Yeah. You doing alright?
I'm okay.
Sweet. This is good. This is good. I'm glad to see.
Yeah, thank you. Just forewarning to the listener, if you hear a loud crash at any points in the episode, it is because my ceiling caved in. But hey, let's hope that doesn't happen.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a, what'd you call it? A stalactite of water bubble protruding from one of your panels in the ceiling.
Yes, I would say that. Yeah, it's a protrusion for sure. Yeah,
right. Anything could happen.
Yeah.
Place your bets now to see which segment we will die in. Yeah. Hopefully that doesn't happen.
Hopefully not. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's been fairly cold here, even snowy, and
even snowy. We have had like 8 inches of snow in the
that's
last 2 weeks.
It's a lot, yeah. But now it's just rainy. It's super rainy today.
It got up to like 50 something.
I know.
It was like 4 yesterday.
Right. It's a big jump. I do love the rainy days. They're my favorite.
I don't.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly because I'm an old man and can't drive in the rain anymore. And also, my car has no brakes, and my windshield wipers are shit.
Oh. Yet you still don't like riding in the rain. It sounds like an adventure. That's some like Wild West driving right there.
Yeah, I'm not adventurous. I'm old. I got old.
Yeah.
I got old when I was 20.
Oh, wow. It just like right then.
Yep. I was like, well, the time for me to have adventures is over. I didn't really have any as a teenager. We're not going to push this any further.
I don't blame
you. You had adventures, though.
I did have some
into your 20s
adventures.
and
Well
possibly
into my
even 30s.
Maybe. Probably just 20s. Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty adventureless now. I did drive in the rain, though, today. It was crazy.
We have a pretty new car, though, so it's safe.
It's true. Yeah.
Probably even wore your seatbelt.
I did. Well, only because it makes that annoying beeping sound if I don't. I try to always wear my seatbelt, and then, like, occasionally, like, this morning I had to drive, like, just, like, down the street for a second.
Right.
And then, like, I started just driving, and it was doing the beeping thing, and I was like, is it gonna beep? Is that gonna annoy me for minutes, or just, yeah. So I went ahead and put my seatbelt on.
Well, that's safe.
That's what it's there for.
Exactly.
And that's why I'm alive today, to tell the tale.
Yeah. Yep.
Prince of Cats?
Prince of Cats.
So, I remember a couple years ago, I think we saw some of this artwork, didn't we? In Columbus?
I believe so.
Yeah, because it looked familiar.
Ronald Wimberly was the sort of resident
featured artist.
Featured artist,
Yeah.
something, I don't know, at CXC,
Yeah.
like 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
I didn't look that up to confirm it, but I felt like, his art looked super familiar.
Yeah, when, I think it was the year you and I went that you were sick.
Yeah,
And we saw the Seth interview.
I think that was 16, or maybe 17, I can't remember.
But the Seth interview was at the museum that had the Ronald Wimberly exhibit up as well. So I think we either before or after the Seth interview, we looked at his artwork.
Yeah.
Which I became a fan of because
it's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
He was at the show, I believe, selling this very book.
Oh, that must have been 16 then, because that's when this was printed.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
I believe also, because I went the previous day with our friend Jeremy, because you were sick. And he was very excited to get this book from Ronald Wimberly. But I don't think he actually did, because every time he tried to go by his table, he was just not there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never heard him mention this one. And he usually talks about the ones he likes.
Sure.
He tells me about them.
Sure. Well, maybe he didn't like it.
Jeremy's my coworker.
Yeah. He's been on the show ages ago. He never will be again. I like Jeremy. He'll never be on this show.
Oh. But, yeah. So you bought this then at that show?
No. I bought this a year ago.
Mm.
I found it used at Second and Charles for like $15, something like that. Mm-hmm. Which cover price is $24.99.
Yeah.
So
it's a pretty good deal.
Not a bad deal. I've had better deals, but
I like the time you stole that ice cream from that kid. That was a great deal.
Yeah, it was a really good deal.
I mean, not for him.
No.
But for you.
I do have an ice cream stealing story.
Do you really?
Yeah, I do.
Were you the thief or the...
I was the thief.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I gotta hear this one.
My ex-girlfriend and I were out at a movie, and afterwards she said that she felt like having some ice cream. And I was like, oh, I mean, McDonald's is like right across the street there, and it was like in the summer, so they were doing like 50 cents for an ice cream cone, something like that.
Oh, yeah.
And so went through the drive-thru, and I'm kind of an asshole at times, and very demanding of people who work in customer service to at least fucking pretend that you kind of give a fuck about your job.
Right.
And we sat at the squawk box thing for like 5 minutes before anyone even acknowledged that we were there. And so I was getting pretty fed up, and placed the order for 2 ice cream cones and pulled forward, and no one came to take my money. And we sat there for like another 5 minutes, and then finally, like, at the next window up where you get your food, like, the guy leaned out and he had like 2 ice cream cones. And so I pulled forward and I took the 2 ice cream cones and drove away.
Nice.
And then apparently that's when he realized that I hadn't paid yet. And I started laughing. And my girlfriend at the time wondered what I was laughing about, and I told her what had just happened.
Right.
And she got fucking furious at me.
For not paying them?
Yep.
I mean, it's how commerce works, but if he's just going to give you the ice cream, and it's McDonald's. So
it's McDonald's.
Who really cares?
And it was $1.
If it was like, like Velma's ice cream corner shop.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would never steal from them.
I wouldn't do that either.
But yeah,
But also,
it's McDonald's.
Exactly.
Who cares?
It's fucking McDonald's.
They could give away ice cream to everyone that pulls in their drive-thru for the rest of their lives, and they wouldn't go out of business.
Nope.
They're fine.
Not a bit. Not a bit.
Yeah, I think you did the right thing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe you did the right thing.
Yeah. We nearly broke up that night because of it.
That's crazy.
In hindsight, maybe we should have.
Right? Over the free ice cream.
Right.
Well, they do have some okay ice cream. It's not great, but it's okay.
It's really not.
Okay.
Although, I've lost my taste for ice cream over the years.
Really?
Possibly because of that moment. I'm not sure.
Oh, yeah. I could see how that would.
But I don't like the taste of ice cream. I don't like the aftertaste it leaves. It just makes me feel gross.
I don't like it in warm weather, for sure. I like it, like I had some ice cream from UDF last week, and it was perfect because it was like 30 degrees outside.
I had some apple pie with a scoop of ice cream on it.
Ooh, I love that.
I could not eat the ice
cream.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I took a couple bites and was just like, this is, no, thank you. Just the apple pie, please.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I wish I would have been there. I could have ate your ice cream.
You could have. And they gave me 2 scoops, actually.
Well, that's too much for a piece of pie.
Yes, absolutely.
I will say that.
Yeah.
They need to learn their cream to pie ratio.
Yes, they do. Prince of Cats.
Prince of Cats. Yep, this has been us talking about Prince of Cats.
Well, to be fair, it's been like a month since I read this. So I don't remember too much. And I have a feeling I know what you're gonna say about it.
Oh, yeah. I'm pretty sure you do. Yeah, we usually don't. We usually try not to give each other spoiler alerts on how we reacted to this. But you said something. Oh, you stopped at my work and you're like, hey, we need to probably do this before I forget about it. And I was like, oh, I'm good. Yeah. Whether we do it now or 4 years from now, I'm going to have the same review.
Yeah. So you loved it.
I love the artwork. The rest of it, I fucking hated. I think the art is beautiful, and it is probably well done story-wise if you like this sort of thing, but I do not.
And what is that sort of thing?
Shakespeare.
Is it black people?
Yeah. No, I'm actually cool with black people.
Oh,
I don't mind.
That's weird.
Black characters.
You're a rare guy in Ohio.
I know, right? No, I have always greatly disliked Shakespeare, and I've tried watching people perform it, and I've tried reading it, and I'm probably just too dumb, because clearly he's a good writer. Clearly. I mean, people love him. They worship him. I can't stand him. Like, I just can't understand what people are trying to say. There's lots of panels even in this book I had to read like 40 times before I could even move on to the next panel, because I had no idea what was happening. And I find Shakespeare frustrating because it makes me feel kind of dumb, but at the same time I'm like, maybe I'm not wrong and maybe everybody else is. So I did not like this book, but I think it was very pretty. I like the idea of setting, so they basically, it's like Shakespeare characters and scenarios set in a modern urban landscape, and there's elements of this that are completely modern dialogue, and then there's elements that are completely Shakespearean dialogue, and then there's elements where they mix the two, where it's like kind of to comedic effect sometimes.
Right.
And I think I could have maybe got behind that for like a 1 or 2 page thing, but
not a 70, 80 page graphic novel.
It was a chore to finish this. There was a brief moment I thought about not finishing it, but I was like, no, I've only done that once. I'm only going to do that once. So I slogged my way through this beautiful, terrible book.
So, to be specific, this is actually an adaptation of Romeo and Juliet, set in 1984 New York, with, 1984/modern era slang and Shakespearean dialogue.
Right. And so I should withdraw the word terrible, because it's probably well done if you're the target audience, which I am not.
Sure.
You're not sure?
I'm not sure. I am fully aware of how well put together this book is.
Mm-hmm.
And the artistry and the expertise that needed to be used to tell this story the way it's told. And I respect that so much.
Agreed.
And I'm going to say this, that I don't think you're entirely wrong in your summation of Shakespeare.
Right?
I don't like it. I've never gotten it. And I don't appreciate it.
Yeah, I know, right?
And I think usually adaptations of any of Shakespeare's works are just pretentious bullshit.
I agree 100%.
That said, out of all of Shakespeare's works, I'm actually the most familiar with Romeo and Juliet.
Right.
I have seen multiple adaptations of it. Not the one with Leonardo DiCaprio, though. I have read it in the past. And so getting through this book was probably easier for me than it was for you then.
Sure.
Because I was relatively familiar with the story. Like, there were aspects of it that I just totally forgot.
Right.
You know, just vague remnants of, like, you know, junior high, you know, readings of this, you know, play. You know, but while I'm sure there is some stuff lifted directly from the play, I really feel like he created his own Shakespearean dialogue. And not in the way of, like, Stan Lee writing Thor.
Right.
You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's some of it, like, where it sort of had a mingling of Shakespeare style and, you know, modern slang.
Right.
Or 80s slang or whatever. And like, even that, I just wished didn't have the Shakespearean element to it.
Sure.
I just think it would have read so much better if it was, like, one of those double things where, you know, if you had no idea it was even based on Romeo and Juliet, you could have still enjoyed it.
Right.
And then if you did know, you'd be like, oh my god, hey, there's this whole second layer where, like, these characters represent all those characters and, like, these scenes, you know, represent that. Like, I think that would have been better, at least for me as a reader.
I can see that. But, again, I don't know if it is just because I felt more comfortable with the story that I actually liked this a lot more than you did. Because I read this in one sitting while I was at work.
Right.
You know, so this was not a slog for me at all. I mean, I certainly got caught up, you know, at times by the dialogue.
Did you have to read some of the panels multiple times?
A couple of them, yeah.
Yeah, there was a couple where I was like, I really just don't even know. Like, I couldn't tell if, like, the characters were, like, you know, kind of joking around or, like, angry. Like, I was like, because these words are so unfamiliar to me.
Right.
Like, I feel like it was like, you know, I was trying to read, you know, like a Spanish text when I only know, like, 40 Spanish words.
Right.
You know, I was like, I don't get it. I just don't get it.
And by all means, you know, I do not want to come across as, you know, someone who understands Shakespeare. I do not. I can recognize that it's English.
My feeling of Shakespeare is that he was probably way ahead of his time as a storyteller and an literate innovator, but it's so dated in the dialect that, like, I'm like, if you're gonna tell these stories in modern times, just, you know, take the elements that you like and tell them in a modern tongue, you know.
I get that, but I also 100% stand behind, like, Ronald Wimberly's decision to do it this way.
Sure.
Especially if he was indeed crafting his own dialogue in a Shakespearean manner.
Right. That's impressive. Yeah.
It's so impressive, and it takes a special level of genius to be able to do that. But, you know, it also probably takes a special level of genius to read this as, you know, a piece of entertainment.
Right. Yeah, it was
purely as entertainment.
If the art wouldn't have been so good, which it is really, really good, I think it would have been just absolute work for me to read this book. But the art was just awesome, and the colors are great.
It's definitely one of the best looking comics that I feel like we've read.
Mm-hmm.
You know, right up there with, like, that one book whose name completely fucking escapes me right now.
The Infinite? I think that's the only Liefeld book we've read.
Loose Ends.
Oh, yeah.
Was the one I was thinking of.
Is that Latour? Or?
Yeah, just Latour and Rico Renzi.
Yeah.
And Chris Bruner.
Yeah.
But those were 3 guys, and this is 1 guy.
Yeah, that's impressive, right?
Right.
I mean, that is... Yeah, good job, sir.
It's clearly a work of art.
Yeah. Yeah, you probably did something amazing that I'll never understand. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah, I think this is definitely something I appreciate a fuck of a lot more than I actually liked.
Yeah.
But I still kind of liked it.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I don't know if it's just because, I was more comfortable with it than you were, but, but again, it's, I can totally see somebody reading this and saying it's total shit.
I respect it, but I did not like it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, don't know what else to say after that, though.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I wish I was thinking about that. I was like, I don't really know much to say about this other than that I think the art's very well executed.
Yeah.
And
I mean, yeah, it's gorgeous. Like the storytelling is, just as comics, the storytelling is fucking mind blowing.
Oh yeah, there's some great panel layouts and whatnot.
And even with some of the Shakespearean stuff, like it still is pretty great. Just taking sort of exposition from a play and turning it into
a comics form, right?
Especially adapting it into a modern era, and mixing in clearly other influences beyond Shakespeare, like just samurai movies.
Oh yeah,
hip hop and just the 80s,
just like video game design,
right.
I mean, there's a lot going on there, and I respect that he was able to wrangle it all to produce a piece of artwork, but did not like it. Yeah.
And I can't even be mad.
Well, you could.
I could, and then I'd just be a real asshole.
Yeah. At least
and I'm trying to be less of an asshole.
He hasn't stolen ice cream in years.
Nope. Not in 4 years, 5 years.
Nice. Good job.
Yeah. But
so have you seen any are there any modern retelling of Shakespeare things where there is no Shakespearean dialogue? It's just those characters doing those things.
Oh yeah.
They do stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I still, hold them all to the sort of base of being pretentious bullshit. Because we get it. Shakespeare wrote some stuff.
Yeah.
So Shakespeare also most likely stole all that stuff
from Bill Finger.
Yes.
Yeah. I feel like everybody that claims to like Shakespeare is either actually way smarter than me, or they just really wish they were.
I'm guessing the majority are lying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it's one of those things that you just, if you're into literature at all, you're supposed to kind of say how much you like Shakespeare. And I read books. I actually read a novel a week ago. It was a 100-page book, but I mean, I read it.
It's more than I've done.
Yeah. But I actually enjoy reading and words and literature, but I'm not as well read as a lot of people, and my experience with Shakespeare is pretty low.
I think for me, part of it is just that, in school, it is drilled into you that Shakespeare is one of the greatest literary minds of all time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's bullshit. I think he was fine, and again, possibly stole all of his own material. Or everything that he is attributed to was probably not written by him.
Mm-hmm. He co-created it with Steve Ditko.
Yes.
And stole all the credit.
Yes. And the fact that, you know, at the time his work was produced to be like, you know, mass entertainment.
Right.
And the fact that people still hang on to just the, you know, the dialect and the dialogue of those whenever they do, like, you know, adaptations of it is just ridiculous. You know.
It'd be like I don't know. Yeah, if like, you know, blaxploitation movies like Black Belt Jones were heralded as the greatest movies of all time.
Right.
And like, you know, they use that dialogue
200 years now. Yeah, they're still doing, you know.
Sweet Christmas. Yeah. Yeah, it's like...
Yeah, because, I mean, yeah, language changes.
Yeah.
So, you know, why...
Yeah, to me it's like, if you're retelling the story, why wouldn't you... I mean, I'm not talking about Prince of Cats specifically, sure. But in all the Shakespearean things that are made in the last, you know, 50 years, why wouldn't you tell them in a more modern dialogue, right. just so you can
and again,
capture new fans of that story?
There are adaptations like that, you know, but I still also feel like, you know, try to come up with something new.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
Like, it's weird, you know, saying this while we're talking about Prince of Cats, because I feel like this is something new.
Yeah.
It's just...
Certainly elements of it are very, very experimental.
Right. And not that fake bullshit experimental of, like, you know, John Leguizamo shooting guns, you know, in that shitty version of Romeo and Juliet.
I don't know. I don't even know what that is.
The musical, you know, the one with the, like, fucking cranberries or whoever, not cranberries, Cardigans.
Huh.
The shitty band.
Yeah. I didn't know this existed. I knew John Leguizamo, I just didn't know he did one of those.
He was, I believe he actually played the main character of this book, Tybalt.
Wow.
I'm going to look it up, because let's not waste time on the podcast.
Right? Well, yeah, and like, you know, if you're out there and you are a fan of Shakespeare, or you're one of the people that pretends to be, you might want to check out this book, because it is visually interesting. I'm flipping through right now, and there's some amazing characters and scenes and, you know, choices, panel designs, and it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's a gorgeous book. And yes, John Leguizamo played Tybalt, which is the main character of this book, Prince of Cats. And that's another thing, you know, it is an adaptation of Romeo and Juliet, but this is told from, you know...
Tybalt's POV.
Yeah.
So has Ronald Wimberly done other stuff that we may have known of? Or is he... Surely he's not just adapting Shakespearean things.
Let's see. I believe he did he did something... The Life of M.F. Grimm.
Yeah.
He's done stuff. I know he, at some point, was a colorist.
I could believe it. His color choices are awesome.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm seeing a lot of books pop up under his name. I think he colored She-Hulk for a while, because I know he did a short webcomic about a coloring choice that he made in She-Hulk that got some flack from his editor. Because he made her look too much, possibly like a person of color. You know, still green,
right?
But, you know, not green enough.
Huh. Weird.
It's a pretty interesting webcomic if you can find it.
That sounds familiar. Oh,
he had panels of that at
the show. Yeah, I do remember seeing that.
So I feel like he's mostly just done a lot of colors, but he's got something called Black History in Its Own Words.
Yeah.
Which apparently is a graphic novel that he did.
Yeah, he's super talented.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, he's out there. Maybe he's just working on his next thing.
Mm-hmm.
I know, because this book was originally put out by Vertigo, like in 2013.
Okay.
And I guess it was also heavily edited, so this is, like, his own, like, undiluted vision of what this book should have been.
Huh. Have you ever compared them to see what they changed?
I have not. And also, both hard to find.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Vertigo one was a standalone graphic novel, though?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I can't remember that one.
I remember seeing, like, articles about it back when it originally came out, which I think is why I got confused when, at CXC he was there promoting this, because I could have sworn that came out years before.
Right.
But apparently it was a altered version, so.
Well.
And, much respect again to him, just doing the thing that he wanted to do.
Yeah. Especially if this is what he's into. Yeah.
Sure, yeah. And, like I said, it's gorgeous. You said it's gorgeous. It's just not for everybody.
Right. Yeah. I'm clearly one of those people.
Yeah. I liked it a little bit better than you, but, fully admitting that, I didn't understand half of it. Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah. Prince of Cats.
Yeah.
It's a
thing.
It's worth looking at.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And it's kind of oversized as far as, it's more like a magazine-sized, layout. So, but it's thick.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's really pretty to look at.
It's got a sketchbook section in the back that's pretty awesome.
That is neat. Yeah, there's some, like, thumbnails of some of the pages and characters. Yeah.
If you find a cheap copy and enjoy Shakespeare, Romeo and Juliet in particular, go for it.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it's a different take on it, I would imagine.
Yeah. But, We'll take a break.
Sure. Yeah, I don't want to say anything too negative about this book. I just don't have anything really positive to say.
No, that's fair. Yeah, I mean,
other than the art, it's great.
Right. Yeah, we've this is definitely one of those cases where we can acknowledge, the efforts and the artistry of it,
right,
and still not digging it.
Right. It just happens sometimes.
Yeah. And not be assholes about how much we hate it.
Right.
Which also has happened.
Yeah, sure.
Mostly on my end. See every book I've ever given a negative review. We'll be back.
Special reason, what's the lie, cause I ain't leaving. We're in for a very long night. Heard a vicious rumor from your mama's tongue. You a desperate woman, need a man with a gun. High crime zone in the city of lights. Baby, please, can't take it anymore. I beg you, please, can't take it anymore. I'm taking whiskey to the party tonight, and I'm looking for somebody to squeeze. Somebody to play, baby, don't get uptight, baby, please. Wanna see my ID, try to clip my wings, don't have to show you proof of anything. I know the law, friend. At the 11th hour, I'm going back outside. Give it a try, I'm your last loose end. Whiskey to the party tonight, and I'm looking for somebody to squeeze. Ain't looking for somebody to bang, baby, don't get uptight, baby, please. my heartbeat, feel my heartbeat, heartbeat. Feel my heartbeat, feel my heartbeat, feel my heartbeat, feel my heartbeat, feel my heartbeat.
Hark, our podcast has returned to satisfy yon ears.
How long were you working on that?
I just right then.
Okay. During the break, I texted our friend Joe G.
Yeah.
Who is much smarter than us.
Very much.
And is a writer.
Mm-hmm.
And so, felt that maybe he would probably have more appreciation for Shakespeare than either of us.
Right.
Or at least by all means more knowledge.
Yeah.
And so I just asked him the general question of do you like Shakespeare?
Yeah.
And he said some. He said he likes Othello and Macbeth. Said that you and I were debating Shakespeare on the podcast, which should have just caused him to laugh out loud, but instead he responded with more questions, such as, what are you debating, whether he's good or not? And I said, yes, pretty much. And his response to that is, like anything, he's hit or miss. It's hard to get past the format sometimes.
Yeah. Preach it, brother.
And that is our friend Joe G, a much smarter version of both of us.
Right? Yeah, that's true.
He is sort of like if you combined the two of us together and made him way more smart.
That's right. Yeah. He really is. He's got all of our good elements.
Yeah.
Very few of our bads.
Yep.
And much smarter.
Yep.
Yep. He even got out of this town.
Yes, he did.
Much smarter. Yeah.
So the one time I did feel smart about Shakespeare was there was a movie called Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead, starring Tim Roth and Gary Oldman, and I enjoyed that very much, despite the fact that it is written entirely in Shakespearean sort of language and structure. And that was it. That's
just
it.
that one.
That's that one time.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe one day. I probably never will.
Probably,
no.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, I still say you and I should watch Romeo and Juliet sometime.
That might be more up my alley.
That is definitely up our alleys for sure.
Right.
Or a book that I recently saw in the library, Romeo and or Juliet, a choose-your-own-adventure book by Ryan North, famous for Squirrel Girl.
Right?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That could be fun.
I do actually kind of want to read that.
Mm-hmm.
Also, because it had a robot with laser eyes on the cover.
I would much
Which is
rather-
something sadly lacking in most Shakespearean plays.
True. Most. I would like to read a Choose Your Own Adventure book by Ryan North that had absolutely nothing to do with Shakespeare. That would be more interesting to me.
But I'm sure it's funny.
I'm sure it is, but I bet it would be better if it had nothing to do with Shakespeare.
Who's writing Choose Your Own Adventure original Choose Your Own Adventure novels these days?
That's right. Not too many.
That's something that you should do.
I did watch Bandersnatch.
I have not seen it yet.
Okay.
So
No spoilers.
please,
No spoilers.
yeah.
Well, it is a Choose Your Own Adventure.
It is,
I'm
yes.
sure, I'm
Yeah.
sure you know that.
Yeah.
But yeah. So
I just needed to cut that off. Of the
sure.
I haven't watched it yet, mostly because I just don't feel like doing the work.
Well, if you just sit there, it'll choose the one. If you don't toggle the switch to an alternate choice,
Right.
it starts out on a choice. So you can just sit there,
Right.
and it'll give you 5 seconds to make a choice. And if you don't, it just goes in the direction that it's already set on. So you could just lay there and watch it. Yeah.
Have you done that?
No, I've only watched it once, and we chose on every.
Okay.
My wife and I took turns deciding, but I want to watch it again and just
Make
choose.
your own decisions?
No, I've already been domesticated to know that that's a bad idea. No, just make different ones.
Right.
Maybe opposites, or I don't know, maybe.
Would you even remember at this point which...
I think a lot of them I would, just because I remember thinking, "Ooh, that'd be more interesting." And
Yeah.
we a lot of them we both had the same idea, "Oh yeah, that'd be cooler to see that." But yeah.
Now, what about someone like me who can't even figure out what I would like to eat for dinner?
You only get
Can
you only get 5 seconds.
Can I pause it?
I don't think so.
Oh,
Yeah.
This is bad.
Yeah.
I'd rather pause it and mull about it for half an hour.
Maybe you can pause it. We never tried. We were just excited to choose.
Sure.
So.
That's that adventuresome spirit that I thought was dead inside of you.
It's back, baby.
Bandersnatch brought it back.
If anyone doesn't know, that's a Netflix original Black Mirror film on Netflix, where you can choose the outcome of various scenes and which decision the character makes.
Now, did Lewis Carroll write it?
I don't think so.
Okay. That is him, right? Bandersnatch. Isn't that like a creature from Alice in Wonderland?
Oh, I have no idea.
Through the Looking
Again,
Glass, or-
I'm not well read.
I know Jabberwocky is.
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
It's also a Terry Gilliam film.
That is true. Now that's an artist I can get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's good.
Too bad he's not really doing it.
Yeah, what's he done?
I guess he did finally make that Don Quixote
Are
movie.
you serious?
Yeah.
Wow.
But, I have not heard a thing about that in months.
Man, that was 10 years ago he was trying to make that.
It was longer than that.
Wow. That's impressive.
I remember watching the documentary 10 years ago.
Wow. That the documentary was saying this will never happen, probably. Well, good for him for soldiering through.
Yeah.
What does that tell you about obstacles not holding him back?
Right. Well, did you ever see the documentary?
Mhm.
Okay, yeah, it's
Life in La Mancha.
something like that. Yeah. Where he started making that movie.
And literally the universe told him not to.
Yeah. Yep.
Everything that could have possibly went wrong.
Right.
From finances to actors to weather to
yeah.
everything. Yeah.
So yeah, he apparently did finally make it. So
Well, good for him.
it's out there somewhere.
Good for him. He maybe he's just I'm done now. I'm retiring.
Right.
I just wanted to do that.
If there's anything that we can all learn from him and from M. Night Shyamalan is to never give up.
That's right.
Because M. Night Shyamalan finally got his Unbreakable sequel.
Yeah. The trilogy.
It is a trilogy, sort of. Yeah. Spoiler. You don't know it's part of the trilogy until the very end.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, and the advertisement I saw on TV. They
Well, no, the Glass is definitely part of it. But the middle movie, Split.
Oh, you didn't know that. Oh, I get you. Okay.
When you're watching Split,
You don't know
you
it's
have
part of
no
it?
idea
Huh,
until the
interesting.
very, very end when you see Bruce Willis.
It's like Police Academy 2. I was like,
Right?
What is this attached to?
I just thought it was a Steve Guttenberg cop drama.
Right? And then I saw Police Academy 3. I'm like, Bobcat Goldthwait's a cop, but he was just this crook in that other movie. What was it called? Police Academy 2? And these are connected?
It's the first movie verse. The Police
That's
Academy
right.
verse.
Yep, that's all canon. It was great.
That, folks, is our speed.
Is more up our alley. Yeah. Police Academy or Shakespeare.
Police Academy.
Definitely. Without a doubt. We know what's good. Yeah. I don't see Bob Goldthwait in many Shakespeare things.
No. Shakes the Clown.
That's true. I'm glad I wasn't Shakespeare the Clown. I would not have watched it. That's a great movie. I love Shakes the Clown.
I've never seen it.
Oh, man. Yeah, it's good. Robin Williams has a cameo. Some other people. I mean, it's good.
Saw Aquaman.
You did?
Yeah, or Aquaman, depending on which pronunciation you prefer.
Yeah. What'd you think?
It's not good.
Not good.
Not good.
Mm.
Really leans heavy into the whole King Arthur thing.
Okay.
Because his name is Arthur, and he's a king.
Oh, yeah.
Of Atlantis. But also, Jason Momoa has all the charisma of a brick.
Oh, yeah.
He is not good. I don't understand why people love him.
He's pretty.
He is, like, I guess if you're into that weird sort of dreadlocked, dirty, tattooed thing.
I mean, there's a lot of...
Which, I mean, I guess you are, because that's how you live your life, but...
There's a lot of people in Hollywood that continually get movies, male and female, that are, it's just because they're pretty to look at.
Sure.
There's not much else there.
But, I mean, is he even really all that pretty?
Apparently.
Like, he's built.
I must admit I'm not attracted to him, but I've heard a lot of people that are. So. I mean,
I fully, like, I don't know if I ever expected that movie to be good. I was hoping it was going to be fun, at least. It is not.
Yeah.
And not that it's a grim and gritty DC movie. It's just that, like, every attempt that they make it, like, making it fun and funny just falls fucking flat because no one has any fucking charisma in that movie.
Yeah. That's too bad.
Everyone's a terrible fucking actor in that movie. Like, even the great actors that are in that movie, like Willem Dafoe and Patrick Wilson, Dolph Lundgren, they cannot make what is happening work. Like, you're just watching Willem Dafoe, like, float his arms, like, back and forth because he's
pretending to be in water.
Just like, okay. 70-year-old Willem Dafoe in a skin-tight suit.
That sounds great.
In a weird fucking haircut.
I'm pretty sure I'll just never see that movie.
You shouldn't.
But if I'm in the room with somebody and they feel like putting it on the television or whatever, I'm not going to stop them, and I'll probably sit there and watch it, but...
It's not going to happen in this house.
But I don't think I'll ever make that decision myself to watch that movie.
You should not. And also, you should probably leave once somebody throws on Aquaman.
But was there, like, cool looking
It's
stuff?
pretty.
Yeah. That's what I heard was the main attraction was, like, good looking landscapes and whatnot.
The underwater scenes are all fucking gorgeous. It is like a 1980s Trapper Keeper came to life.
Wow. Now you're selling it. I'm back in. I want to see it. I loved Trapper Keepers. Oh my God.
It is not worth it, though.
Yeah.
It is 2.5 hours long.
Speaking of Trapper Keepers and not worth it, I actually recently looked on eBay for the exact Trapper Keeper that I remember having when I was in, like, 4th grade. It was so cool. And I even have a drawing that I redrew the cover that, when I was, like, 9 or 10.
Sure.
Still have the drawing. And I looked, and they are going for, like, $60, $80. Like,
that's ridiculous.
Because nobody has them. Nobody kept them in good shape. But the ones that are out there, they were selling for that. And I'm like, no. I thought if it was like $10, I might get it and put my drawing supplies in it.
Sure.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
But no, not for $60, $80. No.
I believe I was talking about Aquaman.
About how awesome it was. It's pretty to look at, like a Trapper Keeper.
Yeah. Yeah, it's bad.
Just ultimately not worth it.
Yeah. And sadly, still the second best DC movie.
Of the DC verse.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't like the Nolan Batmans, though?
I did not,
Yeah.
but those are also not part of it.
Yeah.
Actually, well, I like Batman Begins.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like the other two.
I think the Batman Begins was the best one, but I liked all of them. But.
Yeah, I thought Dark Knight Rises was pretty bad, and I didn't think it could get worse, but then Dark Knight was pretty bad, and then Dark Knight Rises was worse.
That was my least favorite, for sure. Although, it was also it was definitely my favorite Batman Nolan watching experience, because I got to see that in a theater all by myself.
It was pretty nice.
So, yeah, that was fine. Yeah. I would go see Aquaman all by myself, or Suicide Squad, even if I was the only person in the theater. That'd be fine.
I mean, you could at least nap through Suicide Squad.
Right?
Because that movie is boring as fuck. Boring as fuck. It's like watching somebody play the worst video game ever.
Oh. Yikes.
Yeah. At least Aquaman, had an occasional underwater shot that said, "Hey, look at that weird squid thing."
Yeah, see, I like stuff like that. That's cool.
But
not like
that. So Wonder Woman, best DC movie. Aquaman, second best, and still really, really bad. And then the rest are just fucking terrible. And then the Nolan Batman movies. And then the Burton Batman movies. And then the Schumacher Batman movies.
Yeah.
I'm going worst to best.
I do enjoy most of the Batman movies for various reasons.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have a favorite. I think if the Adam West, if that movie was about 25 minutes shorter, it would be my favorite Batman movie. Because it gets really fucking slow in the middle of that movie for about 20 minutes, and I'm just like, come on. And like the ending's kind of poor, but overall, it's fun.
Yeah. It's my favorite Batman movie.
The ending sucks. I'll just say it. The ending's just, it's such a lame ending.
It's better than any of the other Batman movie endings.
I don't know.
At least the Joker doesn't get thrown off a cathedral.
Right.
Or Jim Carrey thinks he's Batman. Or
whatever happened in
whatever the fuck happened in Dark Knight Rises.
I think Joseph Gordon-Levitt stood up on a thing and it rose up and then he found the costume.
Yeah. And you know me, I only like Joseph Gordon-Levitt in Third Rock from the Sun.
His best role.
Yeah. From ages 10 to 16, his prime years. He should have just given up after that.
Yeah. Hey, I did read an interesting DC comic very recently.
Yeah.
So, we bought a comic collection recently, and it was full of, like, pretty much...
Spiders?
No, luckily not.
Okay.
Used condoms.
Oh, okay.
No, actually there was one that had a Band-Aid inside of it. Like, I was flipping through to grade it, and it was a 60s comic. The guy was like, he was standing there when I was looking through his books, and I was like, whoa! and he's like, what? And I was like, is this like Sal Buscema's Band-Aid, or is this just gross? And,
so it was a 9.8 before then.
Right.
And then shut down to like a 3.2.
Yeah, I think I priced it as if it was a 1.0. I put it at, it was like a $5 in good, the 2.0, and I put it out for $2.
Yeah. With the Band-Aid stuff
with
inside?
you couldn't get it off. It's been there probably since the 60s. It was like forged to this comic. But no, I read a different comic. Because he had all these first appearances. It was like primarily what he collected.
Was it El Diablo?
It was not. He had that though. But I was like, "What is this book?" And I pulled it out, and it was New Guardians #2 from the 80s. Do you remember this book?
Yes, sort of.
So I asked him. I was like, "What is this?" And he's like, "Oh, you should read that book." And so, well, first of all, I looked it up, and he told me what it was. But then he was right. I should have read that, and I did. I took it home and read it. So there's this team with like the Floronic Man. It's like kind of sub-tier DC heroes.
Sure, yeah.
And this issue in #2 of the New Guardians, they are in like Colombia or something, and they're fighting this villain. His name is Snowflame, and he's wearing this all red suit. He's got like white hair and like eyeliner on, and he gets his powers from snorting cocaine. And there's even a part of the book where he yells out loud right before he fights them. He says, "Cocaine is my god," and then he starts fighting them. It was so ridiculous because when he first told me, I was like, oh, maybe there's a panel where he like, you know, maybe he has a vial of something and he like snorts it and then he goes into action. No, he says, "Cocaine is my god," and then he fights them. And there's a scene where he puts like 2 hands in this pile of cocaine and brings it up like it's like, you know, water from a river, and he just puts his face right into it and snorts it. It's amazing.
Oh, do you still have it?
It's like $10.
Oh, I mean, like you personally.
Oh no, I just read it and took it back to work.
Oh, okay, because I want to read it.
Yeah, I know, right?
I don't want to buy it.
Neither did I. I was like, for a second I did, and I was like, no, I just want to read it once.
So can I borrow it?
Sure. Yeah.
Fuck yes.
Yeah, it's pretty weird. And there's even, well, I don't want to spoil too much of it, but there's one other funny thing.
Alright.
So, they're fighting, he has like a legion of followers too that are with him, and they're all coked up too.
Sure.
Because like he's told them like, this is how you get your power.
Right.
And so they're fighting.
They're also in Colombia.
And they're fighting the New Guardians, and Floronic Man is like fighting against one of these characters, and all of a sudden Floronic Man starts acting really strange, and like, what is wrong, Floronic Man? And then one of them realizes like, oh my god, through photosynthesis, he is feeling the effects of the cocaine. And so he gets all high, and they have to, like, he's bugging out, and they have to get him out of the fight. It was amazing. Yeah. Yeah, look it up, kids.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah, it's so weird. Can you imagine them doing that now? Like, it would have to be like Garth Ennis or something for, like, it was just a regular DC comic.
Right, yeah,
you know,
yeah. No, yeah, that would definitely be a Garth Ennis thing,
Yeah.
for sure, like a joke.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Wow.
I think it was Steve Englehart, though, who's kind of known for doing some, like,
Weird, subversive stuff.
yeah, or at least, you know, social themed kind of stuff. But yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. I want to see Tom King bring back Snowflame.
Yeah, that would be cool.
And Heroes in Crisis.
Maybe. I'm surprised somebody hasn't brought him back. Like, DC's probably just like, no, no, Grant Morrison. Yeah.
Oh, Mr. Nobody's still around. That's a LSD-powered supervillain.
That's true. Maybe they could hang out. No, that doesn't smell like they'd be
No,
friends.
yeah, that doesn't go well together.
No.
I think. Yeah. Not that I know, just my guess.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, it's pretty funny.
So, you told me to remind you about a couple stories to tell on the podcast.
That was one of them. I was going to tell you I read New Guardians.
Okay. All right.
I was trying to think of it earlier, and I can't remember what the other one was.
Okay.
But yeah, they were both like some comic-related story,
Okay,
but
all right.
I'm sure that was the better one.
All
Anyway.
right. No, that was pretty great. That was fantastic.
I even texted, so our friend, the aforementioned Joe G, who knows a lot about Shakespeare and DC comics. Shakespeare and DC. Right as I was reading it, I put it down and I was like, I took a picture of the cover and I texted it to Joe G and I said, have you read this? And he said, no. He's like, I read the Infinity War crossover that introduced those characters or something. I was like, no. Have you read this issue? And he said no, and I texted him a couple panels, photos, and he was like, what? So that felt good to turn Joe G onto an obscure DC character. That felt empowering.
Is that why Joe G has been going around online saying cocaine is his god?
No, it's unrelated.
Oh, okay.
No, it's funny too because he looked up the Wikipedia page for that character, and at the bottom it said something about it said like like his accessories, and it said cocaine, and it said like his religion, and it says worships cocaine. And I was like, oh my God, can I like claim religious freedom to snort coke in public now? And be like, it's an actual religion. According to Wikipedia.
Sure.
I can exercise my freedom of religion.
You and Donald Trump.
Yeah.
I haven't really read anything.
No?
Yeah.
I read another graphic novel that I'll probably never pick for the show.
Oh, okay.
It's called Petty Theft by Pascal Girard.
Yeah, but wait a minute.
He's pretty good. I've read a few of his graphic novels, and he's, a cartoonist. He writes and draws, and it's like kind of real shaky, kind of shaky line, kind of like Charles Schulz style, autobio stuff. And this one was pretty good. It was about, he was at a used bookstore, and he had noticed that they had a copy of one of his books, like on the wall, and he was like, "Oh, that's so cool!" He's like, "Hey, they got one of my books in here." And he said, while he was there, he saw someone steal it, and like the whole book is about him trying to recover that book for the shop, and then some other stuff too. Like it's got some other like dating elements and things, but that's part of it. So
It's kind of funny.
It was pretty fun. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah. There was an article online recently about a cartoonist. I can't even remember his name, but like the article was all about how he's such an comic industry maverick. That he's just shaking the walls of the industry with his unique and never done before comic style of telling stories about people living their lives.
Oh wow, that is innovative. What does he call it? Life stories.
They didn't actually name it anything in that article.
He's probably still coming up with an idea for the title.
Yeah, it just seems like a real missed opportunity for them to just really be on the forefront of that.
Wow, yeah. Yeah. Man.
Yeah. So, just proving that...
Rest in peace, Harvey Picard.
Yep. Yeah, so just proving that no matter what happens in comics, the entire medium is just ignored.
Yeah. That's amazing.
So speaking of, what we gonna read?
Well, so I have a few books in mind, but we're considering doing, like old school style where we do one every week. We might do one next Sunday, maybe.
Yeah.
So I was going to pick something I think you might own.
Okay.
But if not, you can borrow my copy.
Alrighty.
So, do you want to read, or do you have anything against reading Gideon Falls by Jeff Lemire?
I don't have anything against reading it. I don't own it.
Oh, well, I brought a copy here.
Okay.
And I also have all the single issues at my house.
Alrighty.
But I brought the trade of the first 6 here.
Sweet.
So yeah, if anyone wants to read along, it's one of those $10 image trades that has 6 whole comics for $10. What a fucking deal.
Nice. That's Andrea Sorrentino.
I didn't know how to pronounce the name, but yes, that sounds right. It's the team that did Old Man Logan together.
Yeah, and Green Arrow.
Oh yeah.
And our 50th Jeff Lemire book that we've ever read?
It's a lot. Yeah, we've read a lot of them. Yeah.
We read Royal City. Was that the book? Royal City?
Yeah.
The Royals? Something like
Royal
that?
City.
Royal City.
I didn't really care for that one that much.
No, yeah, we disliked it.
Yeah.
You said at the time that you were going to try the next arc after that, did you?
I bought the next issue. But that was it.
Okay.
I bought it because I decided I was not going to read more, but I think there was a Jeffrey Brown cover, and it was like an homage to a Sonic Youth album, and I was like, how could I not own this?
Right.
But and I think I even bought a couple after that, and I just never read them.
Okay.
I just didn't get into it.
But that was about last year or so, less than a year ago when we did that.
It feels longer than that, even.
Yeah, it wasn't, because I wound up buying most of the issues at Gem City last year.
Oh, last year? Okay, cool.
But, yeah, alright, Jeff Lemire, our go-to, guy that we go to a lot.
We've also, who's our most? Is he our most?
He would have to be our most, yeah.
I know we've done a lot of Nate Powell too, but.
I'd say less Nate Powell just because less output from Nate Powell.
Right.
But, I mean, distilled down, they're definitely our top two.
Right, yep.
Yeah. Alrighty, cool. Well, I look forward to it.
Alright. See you next time.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Gutter Trash. You can subscribe to the show from guttertrash.net or from iTunes and leave us a review. Visit guttertrash.net for email information and for other podcasts and websites in the Gutter Trash Network. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.